Hey, today we're going to talk real briefly about distracted driving, a somewhat common um, topic, not only for our video blog, but pretty much anywhere you look nowadays. And today's focus is actually not going to be as much on the driving aspect of it as much as the distracted pedestrian aspect of it. A recent study that came out at the end of March this year by the Governor's Highway Safety Association shows that the number of pedestrians killed in traffic jumped 11% in 2016. That's 6,000 people, and that is the single largest increase in pedestrian fatalities ever, and the highest number of pedestrian fatalities in the last 20 years. Um, it's alarming, and the report indicates in some ways counterintuitive, but there are a number of very reasonable theories as to why this is. First off, the number one factor is speed. Speed is a problem in that if a pedestrian is struck by a car going 20 miles per hour, they have about a 10% chance of being killed, whereas if the car is going 40 miles per hour, that opportunity for death increases all the way to 80%. So a lot of this is based upon people speeding in areas where there are pedestrians, and that, of course, needs to stop. Failure to yield and speed are one and two. Speed first, failure to yield second are the one and two biggest factors in pedestrian deaths, and distracted driving is the third largest factor. Additionally, but of course, these things intertwine with, in some ways, responsibility of the pedestrians themselves. The study found that 74% of pedestrian fatalities happen at night, and 72% of those pedestrians killed were not crossing at a marked intersection. Obviously, if you're going to be walking around and going to be crossing a street, you have to take sufficient care for your own safety, and maybe recognizing that this situation is probably a lot more dangerous than most people give it credit for, is a good way to do that. Pardon me. The other aspect of this that needs to be looked at, of course, and what we all know by looking around is that pedestrians are just as distracted, if not more distracted, than drivers. And this goes back to our handheld devices and our smartphones. If you are a pedestrian in Washington State, you should recognize that you have an independent legal duty to not put yourself in harm's way. Even in a marked intersection, you've got a responsibility to ascertain whether or not going into the roadway is safe for you, even if you have the right of way. And once you leave what's called the zone of safety, usually a curb, and enter the zone of danger where the cars are, that decision is one that has to be made by having your head up and looking all around. I can only tell you what I tell my kids. When you're crossing the street, your phone goes off and your head goes up, and you have to look in every single direction that a car could come. I hope they take my advice. I hope you do too. I hope it keeps people safe. Thanks very much.